Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our meeting of Rules and Open Government Committee for the Whole, for Wednesday, January 29th. Everyone is present, so we have a quorum. We'll start with a review of the final agenda for February 4th. And I'll note, for the maker of the motion, there are several items to be added on the add sheet. And we'll start on pages 4 and 5 with any changes. Pages 6 and 7. Pages 8 and 9. Just to understand, 3.4, is that an action item, Ed, or is that an item just for acceptance of a report? Because I'm looking at A, B, and C.
So that is, that was a referral from
it's
Councilmember
being
Jimenez for an update on Council Policy Priority 16 related to the actual wage theft policy as well as the private construction ordinance. It's staff's intent to provide a status update and give some direction on where we're headed, but we'd like to defer that by 1 week.
Yeah, okay, I understand the need for deferral. I would just encourage staff to think about whether you want this, if this is just, you want us to go full speed ahead and have the acceptance of the report. I know what happens all too often when we have priorities is there'll be 5 other ideas that someone will have that then becomes part of the work plan too, and it means we have a hard time getting this one done. So I'm just concerned with the verbiage of C in particular. If that allows for more council direction, we may have a harder time getting to the finish line, I think.
Oh, yeah, we can take a look at that.
Yeah, I just throw that out there for consideration. Pages 10 and 11. Pages 12 and 13. And Mr. Beekman, you have some comments? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, sorry. To go through, you know, what I'm trying to practice, it can become familiar thought points to think about. To much respect the letters from the public that will be a part of this item, and with more thought from myself about the Diridon Station planning issues coming up next week, I have early feelings that an elevated rail line with only 2 rails that serves only high-speed rail and that hugs the freeway systems through San Jose environmentally and aesthetically can possibly be workable. It is my early guesswork, Caltrain and freight trains can still possibly work well at ground level with street traffic flow 50 and 100 years into the future. Please continue to be aware and consider a Merced to Tracy line or a second express line from LA to Tracy with a BART line from Tracy to the Bay Area and the use of ACE Rail. Be sure to talk with BART officials, as these ideas can offer interesting public transit options and not take away as many homes along the SF Peninsula. By practicing our better human qualities for this high-speed rail project, I feel this will be respected around the country and this earth. Thank you.
All right. Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda with the addition of all those items, 2X through 3X.
And
That
on,
includes the sunshine waiver.
and on 3X, I'd like that to be heard last. Mainly, I have jury duty that day, and I'd like to be here for that,
Okay,
so I should be able to get back here in time.
right. That's okay with the maker of the motion?
Yes, it is.
Good luck with that jury duty. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. We're on then to the 11th of February, and we'll begin review on pages 4 and 5, pages 6 and 7, pages 8 and 9, pages 10 and 11. Mr. Beekman?
Hi, thank you. This has, on item 5.1, this will be the week of the Vision Zero Action Plan. And, you know, I've spoken real strongly in the beginning of the month, my feelings about what was happening in the fall and late December time with this issue, and it was very much of a concern to me. I've taken my own practices to mellow out on the subject and, you know, become a part of more of the community experience. And so, you know, I will speak a bit more about this, and I have a letter in my public, in the public record. But to simply offer, you know, while there may be some, you know, of the local community can try to develop their own ways to be more a part of what can be technology accountability and public policy that's so important to Vision Zero in the future. You know, you can ask that of themselves, and I think I can also ask that as a city government, what exactly are you doing in giving us statistics that will be on these Vision Zero action plan next week? What exactly are those statistics? Are they honest? You were reporting 38 traffic fatalities in September. You know, the Metro Mercury reporting over 60 at the end of December. Those are outrageous numbers. That isn't good math. And so what can you do as a city government to give us better statistics if that question needs to be asked here? I've been very happy with your statistics, and to be shortchanged this way, it hurts and it's hurtful, and I hope you can work on it. Thank you, if that's the case.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Soto, you wrote 8.2, but I think you wanted to speak on this agenda. Is that right, relating to the homeless item that's on 8? Come on up.
Good afternoon, Paul Soto. I was concerned about the one-time award, approximately 23.8 million. I'm not sure what that one-time award means, because we're going to be dealing with homelessness on a chronic basis, and it's going to continue to accelerate. And I use as to support that statement the 42% increase over a 2-year period. So we really need to, as a city, really get comfortable and acclimated to the fact that this is going to be a new reality that we're going to deal with. One of the main ways to prevent homelessness, number one, is stop creating it. And we as a city, we're not collectively accepting the responsibility of creating it. I mean, that confuses me as a human being, first of all. Before I speak, that is the position that I speak of as a human being. Then I speak as a citizen of this country, then I speak as a citizen of this city, and then I speak as a Chicano. And so those are all, sometimes they have different conflicting ideas, and sometimes there's cohesion amongst them. But to think that we're going to get to a point to where somehow or another we're going to end homelessness, that's just not reality. It's not true. And I think that some people, it's kind of like a con game, getting people to believe that somehow or another we're going to stop it, when in actuality, it's going to be a chronic issue that we're going to deal with as a city.
Thank you. I'll ask you to advocate with the legislature, which gave us those one-time funds, to hopefully make them ongoing, because I think that's what we'd all prefer. All right, on the motion, there was a motion, wasn't there?
Motion to approve the Tuesday, February 11th agenda.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're on to, I believe, public record. And
Motion to note and file?
Second.
now there's no name here, but there's a letter from the Youth Commission. Does someone want to speak on that, Betty? welcome.
Hello and good afternoon. Yeah, I'm here because the youth commissioners cannot be here. They are in school right now. But that they did ask that you would take the moment to really read their letter and read their recommendation. They have been working extremely hard, and they've worked with not only their peers through their town hall that they had regarding mental health illnesses and mental health issues, but they also been working with the county. And so that's why they are asking that you do take the moment to read thoroughly through their letter and their letter recommendation, and hopefully bring it forth to this whole entire council, so the whole council could see it and read it as well. And that's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you. But are you suggesting that would be brought to, on a consent item for the, okay. All right, I'm sorry, Vice Mayor?
Oh, I was going to say, I remember that came up last year with their letters as well, and I believe last year that you made an offer for them to work with your office on the
Yes,
follow-up.
yeah.
Not to put you on the spot.
No,
but
no, we're happy to meet with the members of the commission, certainly.
Actually, I think I did put you on the spot. But
Yeah, that's all right. No.
I'll amend my motion to include taking their letter to the full city council and for them to meet with the mayor.
So that item is not on the agenda for putting it on the calendar.
Yeah.
You can discuss the public record, but you have to then agendize it for rules for next week,
Okay,
so that you and the public can consider whether or not to send it to the full commission.
okay,
So moved.
Second.
fair enough. Any questions or comments?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, wait a minute. Mr. Beekman, did you want to speak on
Wouldn't
the
wanna
public
have
record?
any
Go
of
ahead.
Thank you. With your continual placement into the public record of new and updated cell towers and powerful Wi-Fi antennas, I wanted to ask about a fairly large cell antenna placed upon a modified smart streetlight that is on the corner of San Fernando and 7th Street. It is only about 30 feet from a third-story apartment. Has the person in the apartment and the entire neighborhood near the San Jose State received a courtesy notice? Were they, as both individuals and as neighborhood associations, allowed much time for rebuttal, appeal, and debate with their city government? This is a similar situation 2 blocks down on 5th and San Fernando at the Catholic Charities Shelter and Housing Center. This is 2020. Although we all work towards our decency, San Jose government is continuously trying to sneak and squeak by to fill demands where cell antennae need to be strategically placed. This being 2020, are you still going to say health effects are inconclusive and we are still in an experimental phase placing cell antennae so close to people and their everyday living quarters? With 48 seconds, I also wanted to speak about a few Vision Zero thoughts of my letter. I want to learn how friendly, cooperative words and ideas can definitely help to end the confusion of how to report statistics in San Jose at this time. I hope new ideas in tech accountability and other local sustainable practices can be of help for more responsible green sustainability practices at this time as well. With 18 seconds, I have to move down here. To conclude, I very much hope openness, accountability, and good public policy guidelines with technology, surveillance, and data collection can be treated as an important concepts and as equals for a future of better democracy, sustainability, and peace. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, does anyone wish to reconsider their vote on the last item?
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right, moving on. Item G1 is a consent calendar.
Motion to approve?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, on to open forum. Mr. Soto?
Yeah, just like I said before, Paul Soto, it's very confusing to experience this new reality that is like kind of being thrust upon us as a city. I mean, democracy comes from the word demos kratis, and it means strength of the people. And we're not in a democracy. This is a republic. This is where elected officials are in a position to exercise an inequity of power, meaning you have more power than I do because you have information that I'm not privy to. And so there's a disconnection in the exercise of a citizen's power. To come here and say that this is a democracy to speak at a microphone for 2 minutes and cast a vote, that's democracy? That's not democracy. You know it and I know it. You're sitting in meetings with Jay Paul, you're sitting in meetings with Gary Dillabo, you're sitting in meetings with Barry Swenson, you're sitting in meetings with all these cats, man. I don't have that information that you're privy to, and you're making decisions that is having a direct impact on my life. And you do it in such a way that is very cavalier, and that's my opinion. It's a very cavalier way because people are dying on the streets as a result of those decisions that you're making with information that you're privy to that we as a regular citizenry are not. And so you can't, and so to define that as a democracy, it's just not true. And so I don't know, like, what, as a citizen, what I can do in order to kind of balance that. How do I balance that as a citizen of the city that is going to be impacted within this next 10, 15, 20 years by the policies that are being made today? Because what's going on right now and the amount of money that's being brought to the city is unprecedented. $15 billion is going to be put into the city within the next 5 years. Gary Dillabo spent $300 million over a 90-day period buying up San Jose. I mean, so come on, to think that just one citizen is going to be able to exercise any kind of power in order to defend themselves against something like that, it's just unconscionable.
Thank you. Mr. Brinkman?
Hi, thank you. From the heartfelt feelings from all sides yesterday, in the resolution deciding the future of Measure B funding, some are asking for fiscal responsibility. Others are saying this can be achieved and that it is time to openly consider the future, openly question the future of fossil fuels. I am hoping there can be a somewhat natural lull at this time and for a few more years that will be needed simply to prepare for highway and interchange expanse ideas in the next few years. These next few years can be an important time to explain to regional voters and for voters to understand the importance of asking how to begin to more openly question the future of fossil fuels and the important good choices we can all have from this. A thank you to the local advocacy and their initial good work that it may become easier for all of us to help understand these things. I think we are all hoping they can continue to find friendly, creative ideas to raise awareness and understanding for all of us. As I tried to say yesterday, I hope this city council will know how to treat this resolution process with incredible softness, care, and balance for all sides, as I think we can all be curious what can be a better, more creative, sustainable future that is possible in learning to leave fossil fuel use. With 30 seconds, I hope I can remind you to please look for good policy practices with the cell phone tower antennas and review yourselves and make it a better practice. Everything doesn't have to be strategically placed. Please think of humans first. And finally, a thank you to those city government of San Jose and San Jose community who are understanding the use of technology and law enforcement should only try to have a smaller, more auxiliary role in the larger questions of Vision Zero. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. The meeting is adjourned.